100 years ago today, February 4th, 1926, the Missouri State High School Athletic Association, at the time, Constitution was unanimously voted into existence. 100 years later, our association as we know it is under attack from our state legislature. It's time to fight for the future of high school sports and activities in our state. If our 724 member schools want to retain their ownership and governance of their association, we must engage.
So there you have MSHAA, the Missouri, State High School Athletic Association. They are saying they're under attack from the legislature. And it just so happens that I have in my hands a press release from the desk of Catherine Hanaway, Missouri Attorney General, saying she's filing lawsuit based on race and sex based discrimination. Let's get to the bottom of it right now. Attorney General, thank you for being with us today. Catherine Hanaway with us back on the Annie Frey Show. So you're filing lawsuit against MSHAA.
Yes, we are. And thanks so much for having me on again, Annie. I apologize if my voice is a little more raspy than usual today.
You sound great.
I think I got what everybody else has.
Yeah.
So we filed suit pretty simply because the association is discriminating against anyone who is not a minority and not a woman. They have a rule that says you are not qualified to be a member, an at-large member of their board, unless you are a minority or a woman. And that sounds crazy. This all started with the Cassville school superintendent, who happens to live in Scott Fitzpatrick, the state auditor's district or hometown. The superintendent reached out to Scott as the state auditor, said, this can't be right. Can you check into it? The state auditor did. The association confirmed that was their rule. He referred it over to us. I was like, the third line of defense. I said, they can't mean this. They have to understand that you cannot discriminate on the basis of race and gender. And nope, they doubled down. And frankly, I'm glad they're under attack by the legislature. MSHAA may serve its members, like the athletic directors and school boards, but I don't even think they serve them, and they certainly don't serve the athletes in Missouri, and that's been a problem for a long, long, long time. All the way back to when I was in the legislature, they were disqualifying kids for competing too much from our state tournaments. So you had great swimmers and great track athletes who, of course, ran in club meets, and some of them, I remember one guy who had a chance to make the Olympic team, and they wouldn't let him run in the state high school track meet. And this happens over and over again. If you talk to people who have kids involved in high school sports in Missouri, they have story after story after story like that. And so what the legislature is trying to do is wrest control from sort of a self-perpetuating board and let the governor make those appointments.
Catherine Hanaway, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, speaking with us right now. If the organization, if MSHAA is not there to serve the student athletes, then who are they serving?
I think they're serving the athletic directors and superintendents who are their 724 member school districts. And frankly, probably not even them well. I think they serve their, inner circle board members really well. And that's about it. And I'm sorry to be so harsh, but I care passionately about kids and sports. I think it's one of the formative opportunities anybody has. And it is the opportunity that should be a level playing field where excellence can be recognized through hard work, effort, and merit and talent. And, boys should play boys sports and girls should play girls sports. And so many great life lessons come out of that. And I just absolutely hate it when bureaucrats prevent kids from having that opportunity.
So what we're learning here from this lawsuit is that they have, two at-large positions that white men cannot apply to be a part of.
That's exactly right. And we think anybody should be able to apply, and who's ever the best for the job should get it.
Yeah, which could be a minority female or a white man.
Could be.
Could be both of them.
Exactly. Funny thing how that might work if it was fair.
Have there been conversations that you said you were the third line of defense here? Have there been discussions, encouragement before the Attorney General of the state files a lawsuit to try to say, all right, let's reason with each other here and see if we can shift gears were there steps that were taken before a lawsuit to try to get this back on track?
Absolutely. Both starting all the way back with the Cassville superintendent, who reached out and said, maybe I'm misunderstanding. And then Scott Fitzpatrick did the same thing. We did the same thing a third time because it was kind of startling, right? It's so clearly in violation of the law. And I'm not sure why this is the hill that they want to fight on, particularly when they've got a real battle going on in the legislature. Now, I'm not sure they're going to, that the people sponsoring the bills to reform their governance are going to win. Particularly in outstate Missouri, school superintendents are a very, very powerful lobbying force. And in the metro areas, we don't recognize it quite as much, but because these administrators are being paid so much today, they're often among the highest paid people in a whole legislative district. They're thought leaders. They're very well respected members of the community. And you know what? I want our school superintendents to be that because they're providing great education to kids. But I don't think that that's always the case.
We're speaking with Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, talking about the suit filed against MSHAA for race and sex-based discrimination. Where does the rules for these seats, like who sets them? Were they voted upon by the board and implemented by the board? What needs to happen in order for them to change them?
No, that's exactly right. The board could change these immediately. It would be an easy fix. I don't believe, now I'm not intimately familiar with the Constitution for MSHAA. It might require a vote of the membership, but most of the governance is self-perpetuated by its board.
And then I'm just doing a quick Google search here on the current MSHAA board of directors. If they have spots open for at-large members, the superintendents look to be, if you're a superintendent, does that make you part of this board? Like, what constitutes the non-at-large?
So there's like districts that are roughly similar to our congressional districts. Mm-hmm. And within each of those, the members vote to elect someone to represent their district. And then there's 2 at-large spots in addition to those districts. So what the Cassville superintendent wanted to put in for was one of those at-large spots.
I see a woman from the North Kansas City School District on there. So it appears as though District 8 voted a female in to represent them in that position. And then, of course, the 2 at-large members right now, one is a black man, one is a white woman. If I would assume if the best person for the job or the person who ran and politicked to get that position was a person of color or a female, that they would be able to still have that position from any of the other districts around the state?
Of course. Absolutely they could. And, they just need to go out and campaign for it like you do any other leadership position. So
when you file this lawsuit, how does this work? Are you just basically, how does it get ruled on? Where does it get ruled on? What kind of resolution might happen here?
Yeah, so it just, it's going to work its way through the courts. It's, in a trial court right now. We are seeking to enjoin the association from enforcing this rule and then hopefully ultimately get them to overturn the rule. We don't want money. We just want, the law to be upheld.
Well, thank you for continuing to advocate for fairness. I mean, especially when you're talking about sports, it's like this is the most basic ground level place where merit should reign supreme. And we see in a lot of other states, mine included, in the state of Illinois, where they can't get a lot of other things straight. But it's good to see you advocating for this. And, should the at-large members be people of minorities, be women? And that's how they decide to go with that. That is what it is. But to discriminate against a white person, I would say that's racist.
I mean, it clearly is discrimination. It's the thing we want to root out going both directions. We don't want to discriminate against women and minorities, but we don't want to discriminate against white men either. Like, come on, people. We should be past this by now.
Yeah. Well, keep fighting for it. Thank you for spending some time with us today, Catherine Hanaway. It's good to have you back with us.
Thanks so much, Annie. Take care.
Bye-bye. The Attorney General for the state of